Okay, we're picking up on question 6. We've put in our new demand curve using this new price right here, so it's lower. So our demand curve and our marginal revenue curve is shifted to the left, and we want to know what. Actually, we're on question 5. Okay, what is the profit maximizing level of output? Okay, so we come back here and we look at where marginal cost in the blue intersects with marginal revenue, and we go up to the price, and there's no output in the table at that point. That's about 360. So we're going to have to drop back, because if we go up to 400, then we don't want that, because marginal revenue uh, is way below marginal cost here. The purple is way below the blue. We want to go where marginal revenue is above marginal cost, so we drop back to 300 right here. So we're going to produce it at 300 at a price of $9. Okay. I'm not sure if I asked you about the price. Let's see. And no, I just asked you the level of output. So you just need to put in here number 5. They're going to produce at 300, because the highest output where this is the highest. 300 is the highest output where marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost. At 400, as I showed you on the graph, marginal revenue is less than marginal cost. So, and then in 6, I'm asking you, jump back over. I think I'm going to get to the price here. How much is Swallows now earning in economic profit? Explain how you know. Well, you can certainly look right here at 300 and see that they're earning 0. That's easy, right? With a price of 9. You can also see it right here. You can see that price is exactly equal to average cost. So they're earning an economic profit of 0 now. So they're still going to stay in business, because they're not losing anything. They're right at the break-even point. And the answer that I wrote in here was Swallows is making 0 economic profit, because at an output level of 300, price equals average cost. Both are 9. Yes, if you come up here, you can see that price here at 300 is 9, and average cost is 9. And you can see it there. And you can also see it here. And you can also see that total revenue at cost. So we can jump back down on our other graph and look at that point at 300. See, total revenue, which is in the orange, equals total cost in green right here. So all of these data points in our table and 2 graphs tell us that Swallows is making 0 economic profit. Okay, 7, is Swallows in long run equilibrium? Well, this should be the easiest one. Of course they are, because that is by definition. A firm is in long run equilibrium when they are making 0 economic profit, when average cost equals price. And let me just see what I wrote here. Swallows is in long run equilibrium because they are making 0 economic profit. Price equals average cost, and total cost equals total revenue. Number 8, is Swallows experiencing economies of scale, constant returns to scale, or diseconomies of scale? Explain how you know. Well, if you remember from a previous chapter, I can't remember which one it was, but anyway, if you remember from a previous chapter, you'll know by looking at the average cost curve, you'll know the answer. So if we look at the average cost curve right here, the red, and we look at where they're actually producing right here, we can see that they're on the downward portion, because the minimum of the average cost curve is always where it intersects marginal cost right here. This is the minimum right here. Okay, right there. We know that the average cost is minimum where it is equal to marginal cost. So that's this point right here. So we know we're operating here. So we're on the downward portion of the average cost curve, which means as they produce more up to this point right here, average cost is getting lower and lower and lower. Okay, so that means that they are experiencing economies of scale. Where it is equal right here, they're experiencing constant returns to scale, and where average cost is increasing, the firm would be experiencing diseconomies of scale. Okay, so and we can also see this in a table. If you look at 400, let's just look here. We look at 400. Average cost is here, marginal cost is lower, and then at 500 you can see marginal cost is higher, right? Average cost is lower. So it switches at that point, going from 400 to a 500. And the minimum, it doesn't look, it's kind of an optical illusion. It doesn't look like it's a minimum. It actually looks like it's going up here. I think that's an optical illusion because this is mathematically, theoretically, has to be the minimum point of the average cost curve right here, where it equals marginal cost. Okay, we're almost done here. So let's see. So the answer is economies of scale. So because because they're on the downward portion of the average cost curve. Number 9 is asking, at this level of output and price, where they're operating right here, okay, right here, is demand elastic, unit elastic, or inelastic? Explain how you know. Well, you simply have to look at marginal revenue. If marginal revenue is greater than a 0, which it is all the way through here. I mean, a 0 would be like way down here somewhere. So at this point for sure, the demand curve is elastic. It would be, if you remember, demand would be unit elastic, where marginal revenue equals 0, and where total revenue is maximized, which would be way over here somewhere. So this graph doesn't even come close to showing that point. And demand would be inelastic if marginal revenue was negative or less than 0. Okay. Number 10, is it possible to know by the information given in the table and graphs at what level of output total revenue would be maximized? No, it is not. I just said that really because it does not show here. It does not go out far enough to show where marginal revenue is 0. Total revenue is maximum where marginal revenue is 0, because that's where there's no change at all, which means the marginal, or the change in a revenue, is 0. And we can't see that on this graph. It just does not show enough quantity output. Okay, I believe that takes care of problem number 1. Oops. Which we stop right here. Okay, good. Number 10. We'll do questions 11, 12, 13, and 14 on the next video when we look at our problem number 2 right here, right down here. Okay.